Hello aspirants, I'm Inkar from Inkar IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss about the 4th January current affairs. The topic taken from the Delhi edition, it's an editorial topic, that is one nation, one election. This topic mainly comes under our main topic GS2 Indian Constitution historical underpinning, evolution, feature amendments, significant provision and basic structure. Why it is in the news? First of all, the ruling government led by the Bharatiya Janata Party, that is a National Democratic Alliance, has been pursuing that the one nation, one election framework with all the seriousness. That is a proposal seeks to synchronize the Lok Sabha and state assembly election under one single electoral cycle with the advocate of one nation, one election have cited several administrative fiscal efficiencies. The opponent point is far-reaching consequences of this plan, the democratic and also federalist character of India has laid down the Constitution of India. So first of all, what is the one nation, one election? First of all, we must know the term. What is one nation and one election? That is a definition. One nation, one election refers to the proposal that is holding simultaneous elections for the Lok Sabha and also the state legislature assembly in India. In some cases, in many, it may also, there is a local body election also, there is a panchayat or municipality election also can be done on the same time. That is the main objective of this thing, is a fundamental aim to align the electoral cycle across different levels of government conducting election concurrently or within a set of time frame. This would necessarily significant constitutional amendment changes and also have the various election related laws is required. So there is a historical context we have. In 1951 and 1967, India we experienced the synchronized election. That is a during the election, that is a Lok Sabha election, that is a most assembly state assembly election were held simultaneously. It is a practice that eroded due to the political factor, the premature dissolution of the assemblies, the election cycle diverged further due to the political instabilities, and also there are many defection laws happened in 1960s. So these are the changes made. The election process is a different time in different election. So first of all, there are many challenges behind this one nation, one election. So what are the main challenge? First of all, it's threat of federalism. Synchronizing the national and state election could overshadow the local issue, as the national narrative may dominate electoral discourse. That is, it could result the national parties overshadowing the regional voices, diminishing the representative of local concerns and needs, so which are often best understood by the state level parties. This is a main threat of the federalism also. And synchronized election framework, a smaller regional parties may find it difficult to compare against parties having the deeper pockets and also larger influence, potentially diminishing the political diversity and also overshadowing the regional issues. Simultaneously, the voting may confuse less informed or first time voters, leading to the uninformed choices and also more invalid voters, which could undermine the democracy. The second thing is logical challenges. That is a logistical challenges is there. There is a organizing simultaneous election would place that immense strain on the resource of the capabilities of the election commission of India and also for the various security forces, because the implementing simultaneous election would require a significant purchase of the electronic voting machines, that is EVMs, voters verification paper audit trial, that VVPAT machines. The Parliamentary Standing Committee on Personal Public Grievance Law and Justice 2015 that estimated it is around 9,284 rupees crore would be needed to the procurement of these kind of machines. It's a logistical challenges, and also there's a diverse region could compromise the integrity and smooth execution of the election. The third thing is constitutional concern. That is implementing one nation, one election would necessitate significant amendments for the constitution, and also there is a representation of people act RPA 1951 that is potentially attending its fundamental structure. Some special majority is required, some amendments, that is a two-third majority under the article 368 and require the ratification by more or of the Indian state. Such standards might infringe on the existing power of the president and also state governor. The rising question about the balance of power of the nation, India's that parliamentary democracy. The fourth thing is government vacuums. That is a vacuums in the governance that reduce it. It reduces the flexibility in the calling yearly elections in responsible to political crisis could result in the prolonged period of the president rule in states where the government fall midterm. This could create a governance vacuum that leading the citizen without adequate representation or decision making during the critical periods. And also there is a reduced accountability. There is a accountability. Frequent election keep the representative the vigilant, but expert warn that less frequent election might reduce their accountability and limiting the voters chances to express dissatisfaction. This could lead to the complacency, and also there is a elected official reducing the responsiveness and also constituents need and concerns. And finally it pressure on the election machinery, that is the election commission of India would face a significant pressure on conduct free and fair elections simultaneously across the country. The systematic failure or irregularities could have the far-reaching consequences potentially which erode the public trust and also the electoral process and the institutions. But we have the many advantages in this one nation one election. First of all, it is mainly cost reduction. That is a simultaneous election could lead to the significant savings of the resource like security, personal patrolling and polling staff, that election materials, everything will be significantly reduced. The cost of Lok Sabha election in India has increased significantly, rising from the 10.5 crore in the first election 1951 to 52. Now the it accounts 50,000 crore. This significant escalation reflects the growing complexities, the scale of the electoral process over the decades. And also there is an election commission of India. The electoral cost, that is the operational cost, could decrease due to the streamlined process. And also there is a governance continuity. There is a fewer election could mitigate the policy paralysis caused by the short-term electoral strategies. And also there is a model of code of conduct that which also reducing the resource strain, constraint campaigning, and also there is a corruption among political parties. So this is a main of governance continuity. And also it reduce the disruptions, that is a less frequent election would mean fewer disruption to public life, benefiting the educational institution, employment, and also often using the political stations. Also teachers along the other government service holders are indulged in the electoral duties, so draining disruptions are actual duties. So one nation one election could enhance the administrative efficiency by allowing officials to focus more on the governance instead of the electoral duties. Increased voter participation is one of the reasons. Supporters argued that simultaneous elections may reduce the election fatigue, that is a potential leading to the high voter turned out to the engagement. And also there is a streamlined campaigns, that political parties should benefit from concentrated campaign efforts, allowing the smaller parties a better chance to compare effectively. And also there is a economic benefits. The Govind Committee report indicated that India's national real GDP growth could be 1.5 percentage point huger in the year following simultaneous election compared to the previous year. The report also included the potential 1.28% increase in the fiscal deficit, and also there is a 17.67 rise in the public spending. There is a improved election monitoring. The concentrated nature of the simultaneous election might facilitate the better election monitoring, and also it enhances the administrative efficiency. That supports the argue that holding joint points, that is a joint polls, can enhance the administrative efficiency simultaneously would reduce the governance downtime to improve the freeing resource usually tied to up the election process. The high level committee, that is a phased implementation. That is the first phase conduct a Lok Sabha and State Sabha assembly election. The second phase hold local body elections, that is panchayat municipality, within 100 days of the first phase. And there is a constitutional amendment is required. That is a first bill. The address the transition to the simultaneous election systems allow to fresh election if a Lok Sabha or state assembly is dissolved before its term ends. This bill does not require the state ratification. The second bill is mainly focused on the local body election and the establishment of the single electoral roll. This bill will require the ratification by more than half of the Indian states. There's a new constitutional articles is required. First of all, the Article 82A proposed to facilitate the transition to simultaneous election, notification by the president making the appointed date. All legislative assemblies formed after the date will end with the Lok Sabha full term, and also expand the parliamentary power to include conducting simultaneous election by amending the Article 327, and also handling yearly dissolutions, that are amendment Article 83 and 172 that clarify the terminology full term and unexpected term. The Lok Sabha and the state assembly, the assemblies that replace the dissolved ones will serve only the unexpired term before the subsequent simultaneous election. The local body election and electoral roll, that is the second bill, proposes the new Article 324A that empowering parliament to ensure local election occur simultaneously with the general election. A new Article 325 of 2 introduce a single electoral roll for all the elections to be managed by the Election Commission of India, reducing the role of the State Election Commission to a consultative capacity. And also there is a logistical consideration is there. That is, the implementation of these recommendations will require extensive planning, coordination, and also among the all levels of government to ensure the seamless electoral process. The earlier we have the recommendation, the Law Commission Working Paper 2018 amend the Constitution for the Representation of the People Act 1951 to enable the simultaneous election, modify the anti-defection law to prevent the state matters to hung legislature, and also extend the 6-month limit to the issuing election notification for added flexibility. And also there is a parliamentary standing committee on personal public grievance law of justice in 2015. This act will emphasize the advantages of the synchronized election for the better political stability. The committee noted that implementing simultaneous elections would need extensive resources including EVMs, EVPATs. Estimated the cost of 9,284, while also highlighting the significant changes. The National Commission to review the working of the Indian Constitution in 2002 report advocates the simultaneous election to promote the continuity of the governments. Finally, the Niti Aayog in 2017 working paper supports the simultaneous election to streamline the electoral process and strengthen the democracy. Finally, what should the way forward? National dialogue, initiative, comprehensive discussion involving political parties, civil society organizations, and also expert committees to address the concern regarding the one nation, one election. The dialogue should aim to ensure the diverse perspective of account of the facilitating consensus building that around the initiative, and also there is a gradual implementation is required. That's a phased approach, starting the pilot program that align a few state election with the Lok Sabha election. This allows a real world testing the concept, establishing the stakeholder to identify the challenges and also make necessary adjustment before the national wide rollout. And also we need to prepare for the legal preparation. For instance, we suggested ECI to prevent premature dissolution must include confidence motions for a named successor. And also we need to safeguard the federalism, design measure to ensure the static specific issues remain central in electoral discussion, while also considering way to protect and promote the regional political parties. This will help maintain the diversity and representation of the various interests of the India's federal structure. And also we need to strengthening our election commission to enhance the capabilities and independence of the election commission to effectively manage the increased responsibility for the one nation one election. And also we have to do the capacity building to implement comprehensive training program for the election official, security personnel, and other stakeholders to ensure the efficient management simultaneous election. And also we should get the international engagement to engage the organization to experience best practice to the electoral reform. For example, South Africa hold a simultaneous election for the National Assembly to provide the legislature every 5 years once. The Sweden, in contrast, Sweden, Germany elect the Prime Minister and the Chancellor every 4 years, while the UK on a fixed term of election every 5 years. And also, we need to plan the economic wise, prepare the changes of the election related expenditure for the developing strategies to mitigate the potential economic disruptions. And also, we need to consult the extensive public awareness campaign to educate the citizen about the one nation on election. So finally we connect that one nation one election presence or the transformation, that is a landscape promising the enhanced governance efficiency to reduce the cost associated with the frequent election, while proponent that is emphasize the potential for the streamlined administration and improve the policy focus on significant concern remain regarding the impact of the federalism, local representation, and also the practical challenge and implementation. Thank you so much.